And then this play was an absolute disaster, man. They ran a stunt. I can recognize it right away. Brian Burns runs a stunt. Watch. A stunt means, of course, you're not really rushing. So watch him just, you see, go right around, and then there's no one there. Doesn't matter how good of an athlete Justin Herbert is. Brian Burns running full speed at him. No one's even open. Like, literally no one's open at all. And, by that time, it's just the Giants getting right to him. I mean, look how fast this happens. Ready? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Like, it's literally, he's right there, and Herbert has to roll out, and nothing he can do, man. So, overall, Herbert ended up being pressured a ton in this game, obviously. The exact number, the Giants recorded a pass rush win rate of 68%, their highest pass rush win rate in a game since the metric was introduced in 2017. So I do have a lot of sympathy for Justin Herbert. I don't know if any quarterback would have been able to do any better given the circumstances, but I still do want to talk about my thoughts on Herbert. You guys aren't going to like it, but whatever. I don't really care. No, I'm kidding. I do care. I like you guys. But all right, guys. So this is my first time actually looking at the interception. We're just going to kind of break it down here. Dexter Lawrence made an incredible play. Herbert was trying to go here on a slant route. You can see, look, he just kind of comes up and he runs that slant. You guys can see this was definitely open. He just puts it right there. This defensive back's not going to react fast enough because Herbert has such a cannon of an arm. But you guys can see that Lawrence just jumps up and makes an unbelievable play. I mean, not many defensive tackles make this play, if any, besides Lawrence. This was his first pick. But just goes to show the brilliance of the play. I mean, look at him just jump up and tip this to himself and then also to catch it. And then he's got to be like 350 pounds and just gets up the field, almost takes us to the house. I mean, see, when Herbert throws it, by the way, Justin Herbert's what, 6'5", 6'6". So normally it's not a problem for him to throw over these guys. But just look at this leap. Jump up, hit it, and then to catch it is one of the craziest plays, man. Thankfully, Herbert did chase him down. Ooh, this is the other interception. What happens here? There's a lot of chaos going on. That's not how it should look down the field. Looks very discombobulated. I see Quentin, or is that Lambert Smith? There's a outside receiver, but Herbert, obviously this is a design play up. Keenan Allen's so hard, I think it's so hard to see from my perspective, but Keenan Allen's coming across the middle of the field. I'm trying to think, what are the Chargers trying to run here? Okay, so it's sort of, they have a screen being set here. So you guys can see he sort of like screens him off, and then they're trying to get this receiver down the field because this one is blocking both of them. And wow, he falls down. If he doesn't fall down, yeah, I mean, I definitely get what people were saying in yesterday's comment section about this not being on Herbert, because it's on the receiver for falling down. If he doesn't fall down, this is wide open. But because he falls and trips, now you have, of course, the defensive back. There's literally no one there. And he just dives and makes a play on it. And another thing to keep in mind here is that look at how fast the pocket collapses. Herbert has no time. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. It's like 3.5 seconds. So you need time for this to develop. See Herbert waning. He's waning. And he has to throw it because he got an edge rusher unblocked. Just unfortunate, man. I mean, we're talking about 11 points coming off of turnovers for the Giants. It's Ladd McConkey just falls down, man. This is not a good angle at all on it. So this was one of the sacks that Herbert took. He does a good job stepping up. No one's open, though. It's like I mean, yeah, maybe like Herbert could kind of check it down here, but down the field, I mean, there's nothing here. He's covered, and you have two safeties here, and Herbert is stepping up. Maybe he could kind of thread this, but it's a tough throw for Herbert to make. Step up here. Yeah, yeah. He also has a lineman right on him. He gets kind of past that guy, but then he gets taken down here. Yeah, there's not really much Herbert could have done. So I made a video yesterday talking about the Los Angeles Chargers, and I called out Justin Herbert for being 23 of 41 for 203 yards, a touchdown, and two interceptions. I understand that the second ball was not on Herbert; it was just a miscommunication by the receiver. But the bottom line is that the Chargers had no reason to lose this game. Every time this team loses, it's always about the coaching, the coordinators, the offensive line, the defense, personnel. It's just always something. And I'm not saying that this loss was necessarily on Justin Herbert. I mean, sure, the two picks certainly didn't help, but they've got to find ways to win this game. Despite Herbert being pressured on 68% of his passes, because the Giants' pass rush win rate was 68%. That's the highest they'd had since 2017. You still have to find a way. The great ones do that, and Herbert just hasn't been able to. I mean, I've been covering the Chargers for 5 years to this point. I'm new to football, so hang in there with me. But I've noticed is that this happens pretty often. There's not going to be every single game where the defense is lights out or the offensive line is lights out. There's going to be times where Herbert just needs to step up and be great, and he wasn't able to do that. Now, in his defense as well, that throw to Quentin Johnson was about as good as you'll see all season. He wasn't under pressure. I mean, obviously, if Herbert had a clean pocket the majority of this game, this would have been a blowout win for the Chargers. But it's not always going to be like that. Joe Alt goes down with an ankle injury. Mekhi Becton doesn't play with a concussion. Obviously, Rashawn Slater's out for the season. Austin Deckler steps in. He's a special teams guy. Allows 6 pressures. Zion Johnson has 4 pressures. He still hasn't been what the Chargers were hoping for when they used a first-round pick on him. Jamari Sawyer gave up 4 pressures. Bradley Bozeman gave up 2, and Pipkins gave up 2. You're not going to win very many games when you're giving up a 68% pass rush win rate, but it's still up to Justin Herbert to find a way. I mean, the defense for the Chargers only gave up 21 points, and 8 of those were off of a Herbert interception, and then the other 3 more of those were off of an interception. So the defense really only gave up 10 points. Just disappointing. Jackson Dart throws for 111 yards and a touchdown. They kept him in check passing wise. I mean, there was 5 sacks at him. Tooley had over half of those. The issue for the Chargers is they gave up 161 rushing yards, including 54 to Jackson Dart, and Cam Scatterbu also wreaked havoc. But the Giants, they just didn't do enough to be able to win this game. I feel like the Chargers kind of just shot themselves in the foot, and it definitely sucks to have had the injuries happen on the line in this week, because the only thing, in my opinion, that the Giants do well is rushing the quarterback. And not to discredit them, and I've been to MetLife, I've toured it as a journalism graduate. Got to sit up in the press box and all that stuff, and on the field. The Giants, they're not very good. That's kind of the thing about them as well. And the Chargers just, they didn't look amazing. They looked poor. Don't think they showed up, especially early on in this game. I mean, I love the fact that they had that touchdown drive late in the second quarter to sort of end the half. And, of course, they also marched down the field with that Amari Hampton 100-yard run, 54-yard run, and then they go for 2. They get it. Herbert pushes it in. But moving forward, it's going to be something to keep an eye on, because, I get that in order to win a Super Bowl, the Chargers need to put enough around Herbert. But it's just games like this where you got to find a way. You say what you want about Jalen Hurts. He finds a way to win no matter what. That's what Jalen Hurts has done his whole career. Justin Herbert has yet to do that. Herbert hasn't even won a playoff game. Jalen Hurts has already been to 2 Super Bowls. Has there been more talent around Jalen Hurts? Yes, obviously. Brandon Staley was a terrible coach. The defense has sucked, which Staley was supposed to be brought in for his offense. Or for his defense, sorry. He was the defensive coordinator of that Rams team. I think any coach could have won on that. I'm frustrated. I'm not as frustrated as I was yesterday, dude. That literally ruined my day of just that loss, man, because it happened so early and then you kind of have to live the rest of it. I understand that this doesn't exactly change what the Chargers are going to be moving forward. I mean, I highly doubt we'll even think of this game 10 weeks from now. But it was critical to get this one because the Chiefs, they won against the Ravens, and you know the Chiefs are going to start to kind of creep back here in the standings. And just to be 4-0, it would have been awesome. You're also not even just the Chiefs and the AFC West, but it's also about the Buffalo Bills. They're 4-0. Chargers would love to get that number one seed because the Chargers going to Orchard Park in the AFC Championship, for example, is it's just not a good matchup. It's very, very cold there. As somebody who actually lives in the area, I don't live in Buffalo, but I don't live far from it. It's just a difficult stadium to play in. It's a difficult field, and the Bills, well, they play there, so of course they have that advantage. Going to Los Angeles for the Chargers, where Herbert can kind of air it out, and this defense can fly around. That's what I'm hoping for. So that's why I just look at this game, and it's like a rookie Jackson Dart, a rookie Cam Scadaboo. You have to win, man. You just have to. Herbert 23 of 41. I don't know if any quarterback necessarily would have been able to do any better than Herbert in this situation. I get that, Joe Burrow has had bad offensive lines, but Justin Herbert doesn't have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase is kind of the thing. But man, I mean, I haven't been able to go back and to watch this. I probably will tonight or tomorrow. I'm definitely, maybe my thoughts will have changed. But when I saw the stat of the amount of pressure that the Giants applied, because I knew that they applied a lot. I didn't think it was that much. Like that's completely preposterous.